Hello, everyone. This is Emmanuel from Spectra Geospatial Markham team. We are really happy to welcome you today to this webinar about Survey Pro and DXF background maps that will be presented by Piotr. Piotr, that you can see in the screen, is field application engineer in Poland, working for Trimble for over 10 years now. We also have the pleasure to have Gilbert Sozi. He's sales engineer for Trimble, working with Piotr, based in Kenya. He will help facilitate the question at the end of the webinar. For information, you are all on listen-only mode. If you have questions, please use the question box. Piotr and Gilbert will answer to them at the end of this presentation. Piotr, you can start.
Thank you, Emmanuel, for the introduction. So today we are going to cover a kind of using background maps in Survey Pro inside our field software without the importation of any points. So that's why I have the subtitle saying, do I need to import any points? So let's start with a few slides of the presentation, and then after we'll go to the field to the live demo of Survey Pro. So for this part, let me just power off my camera. It will be easier to focus on the presentation itself. So the agenda for today is that I would like to say a few words about the Survey Pro field software, Spectra belonging to Spectra Geospatial. Then I would like to import some background DXF file to a Survey Pro, show snapping options, cut snapping options on map, and then automatic point creations based on maps, takeout from map, then points and line creation based on cut imported objects and the COGO calculation, so called coordinates geometry. So what is Survey Pro? This is field software, which is a complete suite for land surveyors that fast, easy, and very reliable software. This works with GNSS receivers, robotic total stations, digital levels, and mechanical total stations. It can be installed on both Windows embedded handheld-based devices as well as on a Windows 10-based devices. So what we have in our portfolio for the data collectors, it's a Ranger 3, Ranger 7, so that's like a tablet with the keyboard based on Windows 10, and then the next product is the SD10. This is a 10-inch tablet based on Windows 10. Survey Pro version for Windows 10 can be actually also used on a third-party data collectors as well. Survey Pro is a complete feature solution for staking, for measurement, for road creation and road stakeout, for DTM creation and digital terrain model stakeout. As well, it's also equipped with a dynamic map for viewing background maps and also for measuring. So now let's discuss about the subject that I would like to cover today. Let's just start Survey Pro. So that's the software already opened with the main menu visible. I am now connected to my Focus 35 robotic total station with Bluetooth. And first of all, I will go to my map screen and use the import option to bring up some base maps. So I just add my DXF background map. And then when I'm importing the background maps, I actually have the layers and also the entities available on each of the layers, like here, 30 points and 2 lines. On this layer, only 7 lines. I can manage each of the layer to be hidden to be shown, so not active, but shown, and selectable, it means active. And each layer can be managed like this separately. And the general tab, you just set up your unit, and then for a preview, that's the preview of my job and the orientation. All right, so based on this, I could add more maps to this project and also move them up and down to arrange visibility of them. So closing this, that's my map that's actually visible. So you'll see that there are some lines, some blocks, and also some DXF points. They are not really the points coming from a CSV or TXT file. There are some points coming that are the DXF blocks here. We have like a fence and a building, some driveway. That's actually the DXF that I have used before for one of the webinars. So first of all, what I would like to show you is that when we will use some snapping options here for selecting points or creating points. So I can snap to the point just by selecting the snapping option and just clicking on this point. It will automatically snap to this point, and then press and hold on the screen. Press and hold on a screen to actually create points. And then the location of the point is taken from the snapping. So I have my northing, easting, and elevation. If this is a 3D, and in general, I have my point name. I can change my layer and change the description. So in this way, I can simply create points that will be now stored in the system. So if I go now to my quick pick and go to my points view, here I will see that there is only one point in my system created. So that's the one that I have created based on map. In case I would like to use different type of snapping, I can. So this one is the middle of the line, so I can just click somewhere on the line and it will automatically snap to the middle of the line. Then just right mouse click and select create point to automatically create this point and start in the system. Then we have the end of the line, intersection of the line, tangent type of tangent snapping to an arc, then a center of the arc, any closest point vertex snapping here. So, so in this way, you can actually manually create points. But if I would like to be interested to stake out any of the elements from this DXF, I actually do not need to create any points at all. I just need to right mouse click on it and select either stake to point or stake to line. So if I am close to the point and the line, I have both selections. And if I will be just closer only to the point, so let's try this one here, right? So that's just my point. Click on it, and then I will have just stake to point. So that's now asking me for station setup. So let's do this. PPM on a startup. So let's do a known point, and with the known point, I can do it from list, from map, or just click on this icon here to select from map automatically. So again, my snapping options are visible, and I can set up my my total station, for example, at the end of this line, right? So selected, that's the end of the line created. I can put the height of my instrument and go for a orientation, but before it's automatically storing the point that has been created by using snap options from the map. So then I can use my azimuth, for example, to choose backside point, and the backside point can be again taken from map. So in this case, I will just use snapping to the point, which will be this point over here, then measure and set. Again, we are storing the backside point now automatically after using the snapping options, let me just say that it's a 1001, and then we can just change to reflectorless, as my total station is sitting behind me in the office. Measure. And then stored, there are some differences and checks visible here, but we'll just go and finish. So now we are in a stake point. Well, actually, just go to stake, and now you will see that the total station is set up here, and the backside is set up here. So in case I would like to stake at this point, for example, I can just snap to this and select stake. And now I'm already in a stakeout menu. Done to store after stakeout. I just need to change the name because it doesn't allow the $sign. Okay, that's how I can actually use the points from map to be staked. And so again, I can just right mouse click and select stake to point. Let's select this one and then stake. I just made some mistake. It's already done. One more option here, if I would like to stake the line from this system, just select on, just click somewhere on the map, right mouse click from the map. Actually, I have to be here. So staking this line, just select stake to line, and select line from the system, right? So that's a horizontal view of the line, vertical view of the line. If I extend this, I can actually see the beginning of the line starting here and the end of the line indicated here by the arrow, and then stake, and then we are ready to stake out this line. Let's just go to the reflectorless measurement here. So and then to measure some values, so we are actually on the line and store these values as well. So that's total station hour position, the backside. Oops, I think, okay, that's Survey Pro here, okay. I'm going now to show you the features also that automatically allows to create points based on the imported DXF. That's actually in here. We can go to base maps and then import. This allows for automatic creation of the points based on the DXF entities. First of all, we can go to settings and choose what kind of objects we would like to select points from. They can be the DXF points, line intersection, segment endpoints, midpoints, for example, and also curve, point of intersection, and radius points, and then create DXF layers in the job. So if I do something like this, I have my setup ready, and I can select the area from which I would like to create the points from. So I can actually select multiple areas. If there is a polyline, it will be automatically selected in the entire polyline. I can just add some more selections to this, right? So here I just have points. Or just if I would like to be interested in everything, just draw a rectangle around all of this area. That's not what I want to do. Okay, so these are the points that we will create. Let's give them some name, like let's start with 100, and then import points. We have 16 points automatically created, and now when I return back to my map, so you'll now see that these points are actually automatically stored in the system. So I will have them in my points table, now ready for some usage. So having said that, I actually don't need any CSV or TXT imported. I just need, if I have all the points or objects like lines or polylines or box on the DXF, I can actually use this DXF to create points. There is something more I wanted to show today, and that's related more to the calculations. So let me start first with COGO. So first of all, we have a pointing direction COGO operation. Means that you can actually calculate point in a specific direction. So I can select from point, for example, let's select maybe some calculation here. I will select this point and another point that I would like to use, that will be this one. And then I can put an angle. I can change my horizontal distance. So I can just move this away horizontally and vertically. So first I may just press solve to and then go to map to view the results of the calculation. If you want to use a temporary point, you can create a new point with the same coordinate from the drop down. Okay, just to press this one first, actually, and then also here. So just create these points and then try to solve. And then on map, that's my design. And then I can store the point in the system. With this kind of calculation, we can also select points from list or from map. Intersection, that's something what we can also use. So let's say that we would like to intersect two lines. For this, let's, for example, select point 105 that will represent the beginning of the line, and the other one also from map, it will be 104. And if I would like to intersect this line with another one, okay, let's try 113 maybe, with another point like here. This one and this one. Okay, then I can solve, and on the map I will have two intersections, intersection number 1 and intersection number 2 of these two circles. And then in the input I can store both of them into my point system. Offset line, that's a feature that allows to offset lines. For example, I can just select this one of these lines. Okay, let's take this one. So that's the beginning, that's the end of the line. Then I can offset this line, for example, 5 meters to the right, and save this to the job as an alignment, for example, or as a polyline. Save. So now that's my moved line, and then I can just use this for my stakeout. Right, so if I go to the map now, so that's my line with the offset. So I can just that's not what I want, right mouse click on the map here when I have the line and select stake to line. And that's my line now selected for the line that was just used for the offset. Now it's ready for stakeout. Coming back to the COGO, next interesting option is offset points. With the offset points, you will actually select your baseline. For this example, let's maybe select this one. So that's the line that starts here and ends somewhere here. And that's a vertical view of this line. You can put an offset to this line in right or left, we can store points, store nodes, so like a vertices of this polyline, and I can also automatically create points, let's say every 2 meters, and apply codes to this as well. Store nodes. Now if you press solve, offset is 0, yes, because I would like to have points exactly on map. Yes, and then in this way I can automatically create points based on this polyline. If I would like to apply offset, for sure that still can be done to the right. Now I would like to go to the left. Let's say now 3 meters away and solve. Well, now we have this kind of a design, so to automatically create points, that's possible. And station offset, that's a little bit similar. So let's select the same line. The difference is that this actually creates 1 point. So I would say that I would like to have it on a stationing, like I would put 50 meters. It will be out of the line, completely out of the line, but it will be extended. So we do start station 0 from the beginning of the line. We would like to move 50 meters away, and we would like to go, for example, 7 meters to the left. And then if I don't want to store, just calculate, I can press solve, and that's my, oh, so this is longer than 50, this line, okay, but that's my calculation, and then store points and solve. Now it will be stored in the system. So if I don't have this selected, I can actually press solve to preview and then store when I'm satisfied with what has been calculated. Few interesting calculation options you will also find under inverse, that you can actually do a point-to-point calculation, but point to line, that might be interesting. So actually I can select my inverse point. So let's say this one, right? So I just select this one 1 to 1 as my inverse, and then I would like to select my line by defining 2 points. Do I have any points here? No, but I should be able to use like snapping options and solve and map. I can see this kind of intersection, this inverse right from this point, and interested to store, I can store this to my system. That's a text summary, and that's my summary with this calculation. All right, one more thing which I find interesting for some kind of applications is multiple points. In some kind of applications, you may be actually asked to find what is the distance in between some of the points, like for example, corners of the building to the tree, right? So we may actually select the center of the tree, and then I can select my points from map. So I would be interested to use this one and select also this corner and this corner, maybe, right? So 3 points selected, and then solve. So then I will see my calculations and the result saying how far is the tree from these corners. Well, you know, from this kind of example, that's just an example of this tree, but very often that might be useful, for example, for telecommunications towers, where you need to measure how far is the GSM tower, for example, from the nearest buildings. All right, I guess, oh, maybe let's just have a look at the end on the job and the points. So all of the points that we have now created now are in the system. The points that have been created from the DXF will have the description saying what kind of snapping option was used. If it was calculated within the COGO option, it will have a COGO description. So the total station setup marked like this, backside marked with the backside type of icon, and yeah, the DXF points which we use when doing station setup or after stakeout. They are actually after stakeout, are stored also in the system, and if there was a line stakeout, in the description there will be the elements of the line stakeout, so stationing, offset, left or right or on the line visible here. Okay, so this actually concludes live demo. That's what I wanted to show. So to summarize, I just wanted to say that having a good DXF does the job. No other points are needed. If the DXF is a 3D DXF, then it's very easy to use this DXF for your stakeout or creation points for some kind of calculations. So now it's time for questions and answers. So please post them in a questions pane. And Gilbert, if you don't mind, if there will be any questions, please read them for us.
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. So far, we don't have a question. I'll encourage the attendees to use the question pen. You can actually insert your question there if you need any clarification. This is the time. Thank you.
So during this short time, I just want to summarize that we have one more webinar this week that it will be GNSS elevations, geoids, geometry, and antennas. It is going to happen tomorrow with this will be run by Joe Sass, and it will be at something like 7 p.m. Central European time. And next week, I'm going to lead a session for the SP90M receiver and how to set up base without data collector. And Joe is going to have the RTCM related webinar. All our webinars can be also found on this website presented here. In case you would like to send us any feedback or you would like to have access to these webinars, please send us an email at sales@spectrageospatial.com.
Right, Piotr, there's a question here. Does Survey Pro have a circular object function?
But do you mean it can draw a circular object option, or it can stake a circular object? Can you please specify this?
The way the question is framed, if I understand it correctly, is that are you able to maybe to, if you're picking a circular detail, are you able to, is there an automatic function that prompts, that you can prompt maybe to intuitively navigate in the user interface and pick a circular object, for instance, maybe a tree, if I understand the question?
Well, so okay, so I'm not really sure how to answer this precisely. If that's a block, like here, for example, that's a tree, it's a kind of circles, right? So if you import blocks from the DXF, they will be here. But blocks, well, block will be block, so it's just a DXF element. If you create a circle in the DXF and import here, then it will be visible here. But I will have to check in details how can you use this in Survey Pro. There is a possibility to have circular objects, yes.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Any other questions, Gilbert?
So far, no more questions. There's no any other question at this point. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So I guess I will just finish like this. So Emmanuel, you can take over. Thank you very much all for your attention.
Yes, thank you everyone for joining this webinar. So the recording will be available this afternoon on the Spectra website or on YouTube channel. Have a great day, everyone. Bye. Thank you, Piotr. Thank you, Gilbert.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.